It's giving flawless.
I wouldn't have did all that.
Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. This is my first video ever, so thank you for all of you who are tuning in. I decided to film my go-to soft glam makeup look, and that's because I get asked so many times on my Instagram like what makeup products do I use. So I just wanted to put this video together to show you guys what I use and just how I do my face. And I hope you guys all enjoy the video. I'm gonna start off by prepping my face. I already went in with moisturizer, so now I'm just gonna go in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This primer has been a favorite of mine for a while. I just want to emphasize how important it is to moisturize and prime before putting on your makeup. We do want to give our makeup a good base to go on, so this is crucial in getting the flawless base. So next I'm going to go in with my foundation. I'm going to use the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. I love NARS foundations, like all of them. But this one, I actually only started using more recently, like in the past few months or so. And that's because I have dry skin, so when a foundation is matte, I typically steer away from it. Oh, by the way, I'm using the Morphe E63 brush to blend. So now my foundation's all on, and you see how this foundation is matte, but you could still see some shine peeking through. So it doesn't completely like dull my skin, which this is why I love this foundation. Now that my foundation's on, I'm just gonna go in with my concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Chestnut. It took me so long to get onto this concealer, but it's so good. So I put some concealer in my inner corner right here, and then I wing it out a little bit over here. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Camo sponge. Guys, I really like this sponge. It blends out so seamlessly. I've tried the Real Techniques, I've tried the actual Beauty Blender, I've tried other off-brand ones, but this e.l.f. one, it really beats them all. I'm gonna add a little bit more concealer. So if you see, I only put a little bit on initially, and I do that just to have more control over how much product I put on, because I don't like to put on too much. So what I usually do is I'll put on little by little and just kind of work my way up. I'm also blending it down the sides of my nose. I'm just gonna go in with a little bit more concealer focused on the midsection and around like my mouth and nose area. I want to let the portion of my eye sit a little bit so it can be fuller coverage. So I'm just going to blend my nose and mouth area first. This portion on my nose right here, if you see that little spot, like it does not ever pick up any product, so I have to bake in that area so that it can get covered up, but I don't know why. I can put on like a pound of concealer over there and it will not stick. So now I'm gonna go in with a different concealer. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Deep Cinnamon. Now I'm only gonna use a little bit of this one, and it's only for brightening purposes, so I'm only gonna put it in the corners of my eye. Now with this concealer, there's no need to let it sit because it dries down really fast. So the longer you wait, the harder it's gonna be to blend out. If you do like a super bright under eye, I suggest going in with this step instead of using one super bright concealer, because that's just how you look ashy, okay? And that's not the look we're going for. What this method does, it just creates a really nice gradient effect, because all we're really doing is adding a little bit of extra brightness on top of the original concealer we put on, which is why you'll notice as I'm blending, I'm only focusing it in my inner corners. I'm not going too far out in my face. Now that my concealer is all blended, I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Matchstick. This is in the shade Caviar. It's very, very dark, so you kind of have to be careful with applying this. I keep my contour really high so that my cheekbones stay really high, because when you bring it down, it can really make your face droop. So now I'm just gonna blend out my contour. I don't like to move it around. I like to keep it concentrated right where it is so that it creates that definition. So next I'm going to set my under eye. I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury powder in the shade number 3. I'm gonna go in with the Revolution bronzer in the shade Deep. Now this is supposed to be a bronzer, but it has a very neutral undertone, so it works better as a contour. So I'm just using that to set my contour. So now I'm going to go in with my Morphe bronzer. This is in the shade Prodigy. I'm going to use that to bring warmth back into my face. When I put on my bronzer, I like to put it in a C motion, so I do bring it up to my temple just right here, and then I just follow that path and I just bring it down. Now that my bronzer is on, I like to keep it looking a little bit more harsh because I am going to do another step that's kind of going to tone it down. So I don't mind that it looks a little bit harsh. So next what I'm going to do is reverse contour. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder. This is in the shade Medium Deep. So I go in with that same sponge I used to blend out my concealer. Now when I reverse contour, as you can see, I don't like to bring it all the way down because for some reason it just makes me look like a Cabbage Patch doll. So I like to keep it halfway and it flatters my face the best. So I'm going to let that sit just for a little bit. I'm going to also bake under my eye. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Powder. This is in the shade Banana. And guys, when I first got this powder, I hated it so much. I was ready to like throw it out or give it to somebody. But I found a way that I actually like to use it. So I don't use it to set my eyes directly. I just use it as a brightening powder. And I always use a sponge to apply it. And what I do is I only apply a little bit. directly under my eye right here and on the sides of my nose. I'm not going to let it sit for too long, and then I'm just going to wipe it off. Now that that's baking, I'm going to go in and contour my nose. I'm just going to use my Morphe E47 brush, and I'm going to go in with the Fenty Caviar matchstick. With my nose contour, I always start right at the end of my brow. I mean, at the beginning of my brow. And just follow my nose down. But I do not bring it all the way down. So I'll kind of stop like right here, and then what I'll do is just make a line going straight down. And then at the tip of my nose, I'm just going to create a little V. So that's how I contour. And now I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and just blend that out. Now that I'm done with my nose contour, I'm just going to go and wipe the powder off of my face because, like I said, I don't like to let it sit for too long. Otherwise, it just gets harder and harder to wipe it off. And I don't mind it looking slightly harsh because of the last step that I do. Like I said, it's going to kind of tone everything down. So now I'm going to go in with some blush. I'm going to use the shade Raisin by MAC. Now I'm going in with my L'Oreal Infallible powder, and what I'm going to do with this is put it all over my face. I'm going to put it everywhere except my highlighted areas. I do like to go in with a second round of bronzer. Now, I'm not going to be too heavy-handed with it, and I'm going to go in with a lighter brush so that too much product is not applied. So I just want to wake up the bronzer a little bit. And I'm going to try to stay above where I cut my contour so that the definition is still there. So next I'm gonna do eyes. As you guys notice, my brows are kind of already done, and that's because I had to do a little bit off camera, because if I waited to do everything on camera, I would have been here for hours. My brows are such a struggle for me. So what I'm gonna do is go in with some mascara to prep my eyelashes for my falsies. I'm using the Benefit Roller Lash. Honestly guys, I don't see the point in spending like $30 on a mascara, I really feel like they all do the same thing. Okay, that's it. I only use a little bit because I'm putting on lashes anyway. So for the lash glue I'm going to use, it's going to be the Super Stronghold Eyelash Adhesive, and this is in the shade Black. Now, why I like this one in particular is because of the applicator. So what I do, I don't put my glue directly on my eyelashes. So, I mean on my falsies. What I do is I use this and put it on like eyeliner, and then I just stick the falsies on top. And I found that it works so much easier. So if you struggle with putting on lashes, try that method. I know you guys can't see exactly what I'm doing, but like I said, all I'm doing is putting this on as I would with eyeliner. But with this step, you do want to make sure you're as close to a mirror as possible, because wherever your lash glue is where your lashes are going to stick. So you want to make sure they're as close to your lash line as possible. And also, you don't want to get this on your eyelid because it is such a hassle to get off. So you do have to be focused. Now that the glue is on this eye, I'm just going to take a tweezer and put my falsies on. I never used to be able to put on lashes with a tweezer, but ever since I got like longer nails, I couldn't do it with my fingers anymore. Now I'm just going to take the lashes on a tweezer and just place it. I like to place it in the middle first and then adjust the sides. Okay, so this one's pretty much on. Now I'm just gonna go do my other lash. That was super quick and easy, so if you do struggle with putting on lashes, try this method. I'm gonna go in with the face powder that I use all over my face, but I'm gonna use that as an eyeshadow. I'm not huge on eyeshadow. I'll put like one color on my lid at most. So that's what I'm gonna do, just to bring a little bit more warmth onto my eyelids. I like a super neutral eye, so this is usually what I go for. It's really just like a bronzer color or sometimes a blush color or my face powder, and I'll just put that all over my lid. I really don't feel like eyeshadow complements me that well anyway, so it's like, what's the point? What I'm gonna do next is my brows. Now with my brows, I'm not gonna do anything too harsh. I'm just gonna go in with literally like a black pencil, and I'm just gonna create really light strokes. Now that's just to make my brows a tad bit darker. It's better to hold it on like the end of the brows so that you're not too heavy-handed with it. I mean at the end of the pencil. I don't like to do too much with them anymore. I like when they look a little bit more natural. It just matches my face a little bit better. I used to do super thick brows, and like I look back at pictures now and I'm just like, okay, like it doesn't suit my face. I feel like thinner brows and more like calm brows definitely suit my face much better. So now I'm just gonna go in with a lip liner. Now I'm not sure like if you could even get this lip liner in the States. It's just a regular dark brown lip liner, but my mom gets it from me from Senegal. Now I used to use the MAC chestnut lip liner, but I found that it's not dark enough. Like it's not deep enough. It has a hint of red in it, which I do not like. That used to be my go-to lip liner, but I definitely wanted something that was a more deep, true brown, and this lip liner definitely gives that. Okay, now that my lips are lined, I'm gonna go in with the Juvia's Place lipstick, and this is in the shade Muted. So what I like to do with lipsticks, I find that it's easier to blend when I put it on a brush and then put it on my lips. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my lip brush and I'm just going to apply that on my lips. I'm gonna go back in and add more lip liner over here because it kind of overlapped the lip liner. I'm gonna go in with some lip gloss. This is just some regular beauty supply store lip gloss. I like to use these when I have like a lot of color on my lips so that I don't ruin my pretty lip glosses like my Fenty one. I only use that one when there's like no lip liner on my lips. Guys, I love me some gloss. Like, it just brings the lips to life. So now I'm gonna set my face with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Finish. Guys, I never get this name right. It's the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. This one. Now I'm just gonna let my face dry down a bit, and then I'm gonna go in with my final step. And with this step, what I'm gonna do is just add a little bit more powder. Just a little bit. I do this step because it makes your face like extra flawless, so it definitely gets rid of texture. So I use my same sponge that I've been using, and I go in with my same face powder. And what I do is I go into areas that I did not highlight, and I just go over it with the powder. This just helps give you that extra flawless look. So this is the final look, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is definitely my go-to makeup look whenever I want to be a little bit extra glammed. This is what I go for. I focus mainly on the base. As you can see, I don't like to do too much in the eye area or for the lips. I like to keep those very neutral, but yeah. So this is it. Thank you for all you guys who have tuned in, and thank you for those who have subscribed. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
I wouldn't have did all that.